Indecision. I can't talk about him. We have more aggression happening in the top lane. Here comes Pabu trying to roast the Zoe as much as he can, but all of his insults aren't going to be enough to take her down. She's going to walk away happily. She needs to be careful here, but she's trying to be more aggressive because here comes our Qiyana trainee or Indecision player that we were just mentioning. The Rumble ultimate's out. It's doing so much damage. It's going to end up burning down. What up, y'all? It's BCawk here, and we have another challenger or super server game on the EU West server that we're going to be casting here today before we move into the Rumble round this upcoming Friday. And more than likely, if you're watching this on YouTube, you are seeing this the same day that the Rumble round is happening. So more than likely, you'll know some results by the time we get there. But at least for this cast alone, we're going to be casting a bunch of players who will be appearing in there. A lot of other players who also were pros. I believe everybody in here at one point has been a pro at one time or another. So let's get it started. First of all, with Unex LoL over here is actually just known as Unex, and he was the previous bot laner for the Istanbul Wildcats. So he's clearly regulated into the top lane or pushed to the top lane in favor of who is I Can't Leash in the bot lane, who is actually Hans Sama for Rogue. We see a little bit of cheese happening here. We have 4 people on the red team moving into the river. A nice 3v5 is about to commence here. A good stun comes out from the Sett, getting 2 of the players there. And now Unex is now on the run after just mentioning him. He's going so low. He's more than likely going to fall down to Bean. Bean is our Tristana player of the game who gets first blood. Great on him. Of course, it was a team effort there. And Bean is actually on Fnatic's Academy team, known as Fnatic Rising. He is their AD carry player, so he's on roll right now. His second most played games are on Tristana with a 61% win rate. There's our second pro player of the game. Give me feedback is Pentanet.gg's Pabu right here on the Rumble. Great player, had a really great showing in the round robin rounds of mid-season invitational, and of course, just like everybody else, is playing a lot of Rumble right now. Alongside Rumble, he's been playing a lot of Udyr as well as Kindred on the super server, and clearly he needs to make sure that if Rumble is somehow left open in the Rumble round, he's going to be able to pick him up. Rumble round, very fun. Very, very annoying that they named it that with how much prevalence Rumble is having in this game. Or in this patch, excuse me. WXSI in the mid lane, here we are on the Qiyana, is basically a Qiyana one-trick pony, is a former pro player. He was named Sky Shardagon, and he is not, I don't believe, looking for a team anymore, but he does have a 58% win rate on the Qiyana, so he is very skilled. Clearly, we're looking at our bot lane here, so we might as well keep focusing on them real quick. I Can't Leash, as I mentioned briefly, is Rogue's Hans Sama on the Jinx, so another pro player there, not in mid-season invitational, but one of the best pro players in EU, in my opinion. And then we also have DWG2310, the Nautilus down here. That is actually Hungrypanda. He is a streamer, also a former pro player. He is currently on the hunt for a team. So we see a flash in from the Sett player, followed up by a Tristana Bot, and a huge haymaker is going to make I Can't Leash, or again, Hans Sama, go down to the Tristana in the bot lane. We also see some follow-up happening up on DWG2310, which is again Hungrypanda. He's not going to fall, but unfortunately in the mid lane, we did see pro Uno player on the Zoe taking down our Qiyana one-trick pony. So 3 kills to 0 for the red team right now. Hex Flash is going to mount for nothing in the bot lane here. And we're going to, again, keep trying to list off all of our players in the game, but it looks like some action is already going to be happening in the early stages of this game. I guess to be expected when you have so many pro players on both teams or former pro players. Beautiful hook comes out from Hungrypanda. Haymaker is going to save the life of the Sett. Bean's going to be able to hop out as well, but the Ignite is, or no, excuse me, the last Jinx auto attack is actually able to follow through and kill the Sett. Tristana being a little bit too passive here. She's going to get hunted down by Pabu from Pentanet.gg, and all that Rumble damage is going to burn her to a crisp. He might be able to go down to Canyon Trainee on the Khazix here, but Khazix is going to walk away once he sees that Hans Sama is going to come back in to support her Rumble player. Now that's a great segue for us to say, oh no, more fighting is happening in the top lane. I haven't mentioned yet, this Akali player up here is actually C9's Blaber for the North American team. We have some big fighting going on. Blaber is able to win that trade thanks to some additional passive damage coming out from him. He barely lives with about 100 health left, and he's able to take out Unex, the former pro player for Istanbul Wildcats. Of course, we have both Blaber and our Rumble player, again, Pabu, on the same team, who are both in the mid-season invitational Rumble round. I do not believe they play day one. They are playing different teams, but regardless, a pretty stacked team on the blue side, even though we see that they're still behind 2 to 5 kills at this moment. Teleport comes in, and more aggression coming out from Blaber on the Akali. He's already able to take down the Irelia to half health. She has no stacks available, doesn't seem, but now she's getting support from Pabu. Here he comes, going ahead and ripping through and doing so much burn damage like Rumble can do. It's going to more than likely to be enough. He ends up going down. We have some Hex Flash happening in the mid lane from Sett as well, and 3 members of the red team are moving on to our Qiyana one-trick pony. Here comes the Tristana. Who's going to get the first auto attack? They want Sett to do it. No, the turret's already on the Zoe back there, so she can't help, but potentially enough damage will come down from both the Sett and the Tristana player. No, it looks like our one-trick pony is able to get away, and here comes Hungrypanda. Yeah, Hungrypanda to go ahead and hook up the Zoe player, lock her up, and give her enough time for Pabu to come over and roast her to a bit. Already 3 kills for Pabu, the Pentanet.GG jungler. So much movement happening on this game. All lanes just all around the map. It looks like we're going to have another quick fight potentially over this Scuttle Crab, but numbers are heavily on the side of the blue team, so it looks like Pabu once again will be the victor of this battle in the jungle and take that Scuttle Crab away for his team. The numbers have almost evened out now, 4 to 5 kills, already 9 kills in the first 5 minutes, and hopefully we'll have enough time throughout the game to mention all of our pro players here. Just a quick shout out though, with the 3 kills already on Rumble, he's going to be such a problem. I'm interested to see if he's going to go the typical Night Harvester build that we've seen on Rumble throughout the mid-season invitational, or potentially go for a different mythic here and try some new things out. We have more aggression coming out from Blaber on the red team. Both of our individuals who are on the mid-season invitational trying their hardest to carry this game. Another Hex Flash comes out from the Sett, followed by what could have been a stun, but he did not get both parties in that E. He's going to eventually go down to I Can't Leash, or again Hans Sama here. Now Bean's in some terrible trouble, but he does have backup from the Zoe player. He needs to try to get out of there, but so much long range damage coming out from Hans Sama is now going to end up being what looks to be a triple kill for him for the blue team. All of a sudden in a bot lane that seemed like it could have been potentially completely lost, a huge gaff on the dive down there from red team is going to push so much money into our pro player Hans Sama's hands on the Jinx. Another problem has arisen for the blue team. We have 2 solid carries on there, and Irelia in the top lane, Unex, is only going to be able to stun C9's Blaber before he walks away. He wants nothing to do with this, I don't believe, unless he has stacks up. First dragon goes down to Pabu, as we could assume blue team is now so far ahead, at least in the jungle. That's going to be really hard to contest that. Irelia up here, Unex is trying to go on Blaber. He's going to stun off while more fighting is happening on the Dragon Pit. They have the ultimate for Rumble available, but no ultimate available for the Khazix. So there's a power shift there. Sett pops into the Dragon Pit and ends up getting the shutdown on Pabu himself. And now we have DWG or Hungrypanda down here just taking all the brunt of the damage from the red team. Oh no, 2 kills traded back over to the side of the red team for none at all. The only thing that blue team's able to walk away with is that dragon. Oh no, super mega death rocket from across the map is able to kill the Sett there. He didn't have a shutdown available, but that's going to be a 5th kill for Hans Sama on the Jinx, potentially our premier player of the game. And now Blaber also goes down, takes a very questionable E back into the Irelia and gives up what was, I assumed, a huge lead for him, but unfortunately it looks like that's not going to be the case. Zoe looks like she's trying to do something up there, but she's not going to be able to find the Irelia. We're going to just move back into farming here, hopefully get a second to breathe before we actually move into one of our next objectives. Canyon Trainee, we haven't talked about him yet, poor guy. He's a challenger jungler player. He goes by the name Indecision. I can't talk about him. We have more aggression happening in the top lane. Here comes Pabu trying to roast the Zoe as much as he can, but all of his insults aren't going to be enough to take her down. She's going to walk away happily. She needs to be careful here, but she's trying to be more aggressive because here comes our Canyon Trainee or Indecision player that we were just mentioning. The Rumble ultimate's out. It's doing so much damage. It's going to end up burning down Indecision. Sorry about the cough here. And that's going to be unfortunate for him. A nice 1-for-1 trade happening in that top lane there. Again, so much movement happening in this game. Everybody's all around the map and jungle pressure is being applied everywhere. Potentially we'll now see Blaber go in on our one-trick pony Qiyana player here. It looks like he is not favoring that. Oh no, here comes the ultimate from our one-trick pony. He does end up doing almost all of the damage to her, and a flash in from Pabu, and again the roast is going to take her out. Lightly roasted, darkly roasted, it doesn't matter. She's gone out of the game, and away she goes with her first death, excuse me. Very close. Or third death, excuse me, for the Akali. Very close to hopefully being able to flip it, but again, that was just a battle that Blaber could not take. Those 2 battles in a row that he really was trying to engage on, that he had no business engaging on. Here comes another Hex Flash. We're looking for the Jinx, but that's not going to be available. Instead, we're going to flip onto Hungrypanda, who's just going to hook himself out of here, try to get it out of pressure before the Khazix player and Indecision comes in, and that's not going to be anything happening there. They're going to be able to walk away, and they more than likely don't want to take an extended fight here if they're not going to be able to catch Hans Sama on the Jinx in the bot lane. Ooh, a great little sleep comes out from our Zoe player. Does she have enough damage? Yes, she does, more than likely with Ignite, and there goes for the second time, correctly this time, our one-trick pony Qiyana player, WXSI, in the mid lane. More fighting happening in top lane. It looks like Blaber has lost any ability to really control a fight up here. Super Mega Death Rocket from behind him. I don't know what that was meant for, unless they were thinking that potentially there may be a dive. Here comes the Irelia, very aggressive, getting a lot of healing off. The second Q from her comes off. She needs a flash away because the flash was used from Blaber as well. And now he's so in danger under this turret. The Q is more than likely going to be up in the next 3 to 5 seconds here for Unex. That I don't think Blaber has any business staying here. He looks like he's just trying to bait for his Sett, who again is going to use Hex Flash almost masterfully, but not at all, to try to get in there and get some CC off on this target. Beautiful plays by the Irelia or Unex to get out of there and back into safety. They're not going to have anywhere near enough movement to catch up to that when all those minions are set up for her in lane. Who haven't we mentioned yet? We have XIU4Z, the Sett player who we've been seeing making lots of plays, moving all around the map using Hex Flash. That is Tony Parker's Gaethan on the Sett. We just saw a missed ult from the Qiyana in the mid lane, and now she's a little bit too far up because we have our Indecision on the Khazix moving in as fast as possible with his ultimate. Looks like there's so much danger. I don't know if WXSI wants to stay in here at all. He does have backup from both Pabu as well as Hungrypanda. Here comes the Rumble ultimate, really not doing much at all, at least doing some zoning out from the Zoe, but it looks like our support player Sett is going to end up going down as well. And then also Blaber for the 4th time this game was down in the top lane. Ignite is off on Hungrypanda from Prono Uno player in the mid lane. It's not going to be enough damage to take him out. It is so hard to remember everybody's names. Again, I actually haven't mentioned that our Zoe player is actually Dark Passage Academy's Yuros. So another Academy player here on the Zoe, obviously playing pretty well this game. Here comes Pabu with his 6 kills to burst down, being almost 100-0 at level 9. Honestly, Pabu doesn't even have his mythic yet, and he's doing this much damage. He might be chasing a little bit too deep here. Here comes the flash from our Sett player, and now, unfortunately, Bean stays a little bit too long. Potentially, Blaber can do something here. He has what looks to be a pretty easy kill on his shutdown onto Pabu. He goes down, followed by the Sett also going down as well, and now Blaber's going to be all here by himself with 3 members of the blue team converging on him, ending up being a 1 kill on Pabu for 3 kills on the red team. And now even some additional plates also. As you all know, Jinx is going to be one of our best tower pushers in the game, getting all that passive attack speed, and she's already taken down what looks to be 3 plates in this short amount of time here. Wouldn't be surprised if we see the first turret go down to Han Sama, but we do see some additional pressure happening in the top lane as well from Indecision. If I could get over there, he's nowhere near. He's nowhere near getting any additional plates up there, so no worries. It looks like we will only get this tower down to about 1 plate because we are getting pressure from Bean on Hansama. And now, oh, there goes the turret, thank goodness, but it looks like he's going to pay for that turret with his life. More than likely well worth it, but he does have some backup coming in from Unex here. Unex now having so much farm, excuse me, and also so much damage as well. He could potentially net a kill here. Again, there's no turret thanks to Hansama taking that down. It looks like Hungrypanda is going to walk here and just show his presence, but not do any auto attack or additional skills because he does not want to take that kill away from his very fed Irelia all of a sudden. Here comes WXSI onto Blaber, and Blaber has now died 6 times, unfortunately, in this game. Is now less than half of what his enemy top laner is, and now some additional fighting, speaking of that top laner, happening on Bean and UX down here. Bean's able to trade the kill away with some additional damage coming out from Indecision on the Khazix. Now, unfortunately, Hungrypanda is going to have to get out of here as fast as possible. It looks like he's not going to be able to accomplish that mission, and the kill will go over to Indecision or Canyon Trainee or whatever you want to call him on the Khazix. Now that first dragon for red team is looking very possible to get. They're going to move their way over there, while it looks like we have about 4 players on the red team on this side of the map, and Pabu taking the complete top side of the jungle away from them as what seems to be a somewhat worthwhile trade, but more than likely not. We would want to see macro play more than anything. If you're able to get multiple dragons in a row, that's of course the most ideal. Rumble ultimate comes off on Pro Uno player. Just gets completely just, again, the only adjective I have or verb I have right now is roasted, unfortunately. He just takes so much damage from the Rumble player, who does finally have his mythic item. Pabu has decided to build a Hextech rocket belt instead of what was previously the most picked item, which was Night Harvester. Now we have Unex moving down here onto our bot lane. Will he be able to take out 2? More fighting is happening on the Rift Herald. Already some kills going down that way. 3 deaths on the red team, all Indecision on the Khazix, also Pro Uno player on the Zoe, and as well as once again Blaber falling down there. Red team was able to trade away a kill on Unex on the Irelia in the bot lane, and also net their first turret of the game as well. So So much action happening. I don't think I'm going to be able to mention every player in this game. We already have 38 kills in 14 minutes. Just the most insane game, the quickest game I've ever casted, more than likely. And again, the reason for that being is because we are in Challenger, or what is the Super Server, with so many different really good players on this team. I assume the MMR is one of the highest games I've ever cast, considering no like harm, no foul, but considering a lot of these counts are Riot accounts, at least on Blaber, as well as Pabu on Pentanet PGG, and they're able to really boost their MMR, at least in the early stages, very well there. Here comes Pabu onto the Sett once again. I know what would normally be a haymaker saving his life is going to end up just being a really easy death for him, with some backup from Hans Sama as well. It looks like blue team with that pick there is going to able to enforce their will and more than likely get what is potentially the most important turret in the game. Huge rumble ult comes off in the backline on who almost died there, on Blaber, I believe, and then followed up by some additional damage from the Khazix, who has now turned the fight almost back into the red team's favor, but he ends up giving his life to trade that away for Hans Sama, getting that shut down on the way of him. But it doesn't matter. Regardless, it looks like both Pabu and Hungrypanda here are going to be able to push this mid tier 1 turret for the blue team and push the third turret into their favor as well. All right, who haven't we mentioned? We did Canyon Trainee on Khazix. That is Indecision, as we mentioned. Hopefully Unex doesn't get caught here. We talked about him. We obviously have talked a lot about Hungrypanda and Hans Sama. A beautiful ultimate from the Sett player pushes Unex back into Bean. Again, the AD carry player for Fnatic Academy, and is able to net the 7th kill on Bean, potentially our last hope here. Beautiful flash over the Nami bubble, and then also an ultimate from Qiyana just completely annihilates her, unfortunately for Pro Uno player. Again, Yuros for Dark Passage Academy. I think we actually have talked about everybody in this game. That's pretty impressive. And I'm going to remember everybody's names as we continue this? Probably not. But I have the gist of them down. I think I have the most important players down that we're mentioning right now. Gold differential heavily in the blue team's favor, as you could expect. They're 2 turrets up. They're many kills up. Already 7 in this game. And again, we're not even at the 20-minute mark. Baron has not even spawned yet. And we've already have over 40 kills in this Challenger EUS Super Server game. Some pressure coming out from the bot lane for blue team. It looks like they're just going to farm away here. And more than likely, unless we see some solo kills happening in the top lane, we're just going to be waiting for the next dragon to spawn to really tell the tale of this game. Again, blue team is so well equipped to really win in a team fight setting with that Rumble ultimate, just completely annihilating anyone. And as I mentioned, that he hits basically nobody with it, just a little bit of the pass, or the after damage, not the initial impact damage, hitting the Zoe player. We have WXSI hiding in a shroud there. He's able to almost get away. He'll more than likely go down to Blaber, but unfortunately he does not. A beautiful, oh my gosh, a locket of Iron Solari coming out from Hungrypanda saves the life of WXI, and he's able to get away scot-free, trading away 3 kills towards the blue team, even more kills going away in their favor. And now the kill differential has shifted to 10. And we also see the Rift Herald being placed down in the middle lane, more than likely to distract the red team, while the blue team, oh no, not even distract. Blue team's gonna actually just get that tier 2 turret, push this in, get some additional damage. More than likely is gonna have to back now though, considering again, we have the dragon coming up in 30 seconds, and I assume they wanna be so healthy. All the objectives going down for the blue team. Unex takes the top tier 2. We have the Rift Tail take the mid tier 2. We have Blaber completely on the wrong side of the jungle down here. I have no idea what he's doing in there. He's more than likely going to get caught out here. A little bit of an int, honestly, unfortunately for him. And now here comes Sett to follow suit here and give his life while trying to get some vision as a support player. I'm not going to give him as much flag. Here comes the Rumble ultimate. The burn's going to be enough to take down Bean. He's way too fed. It's on about a 60% cooldown. A beautiful hook comes down on Indecision from Hungrypanda. He's trying to move in and get some solo damage on Hans Sama, but his team's already here to back him up. The Rumble damage, once again, is going to do enough to save the life of his Jinx player. Bubbles coming out from Zoe and being missed. Oh my gosh, so much Electro Harpoon damage, and then a Super Mega Death Rocket. That's why you don't flash in the exact same direction that you're walking, folks, is going to end up finishing off our Zoe player in Yuros. And now, after all of that scrapping and all of that hopeful warding from red team, it looks like we're going to be able to move over and have Pabu take the dragon all by his lonesome, which is going to be absolutely no problem when you are this far ahead as Rumble. 13-2 on the Rumble player, Pabu. We also 10-4 on our Jinx player, Hans Sama. Really strong on the blue team here. The only way they could potentially win this is by getting picks, and Blaber is once again sticking his nose where it does not belong and walking into Unex, who has not been able to kill in 5-10 minutes here, really since the first 3-4 levels of the game. It looks like blue team's going to move over, at least Hungrypanda is, to try to give some assistance from Unex as well. Unex already looks like to have full stacks on the Irelia, so he's going to be healing so much, basically full health after all of that fighting. And now it looks like we're going to get some extension. Beautiful stun comes out from Unex as well. Is able to get the second kill for himself there. The double kill coming down. It looks like an early locket of Iron Solari, followed up by some additional damage from Hansama. Is going to finish off the Zoe player once again. And now that 3 players are down for the blue team, excuse me, red team, the blue team is going to push down this tier 3 turret here. Or, in hindsight, they're actually going to move over for what is going to be the first second of Baron spawning. Good on our WXSI or Qiyana 1 trick to take that first inhibitor exactly when Tony didn't spawn, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter that happened because red team ends up putting in the surrender vote, saying they've had enough, being 12k gold behind, and ending up just losing that game a little bit harder than we really could have ever expected, considering how many pros were completely throughout this whole game. So phenomenal game, way faster than I thought it was going to be, and faster in the respect where it was only 20 minutes, and also faster in the respect that just everybody kept dying and killing people all the time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Another Super Server cast, one of the favorites. Definitely got to do these more once our next mid-season invitational or big world championship comes up. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a great day or night or whatever it is for y'all. Peace.